It's 6 o'clock in the evening. The rain started about 20 minutes ago, the kind of rain that ruins your day just enough to cool the city after another busy afternoon. The windshield wipers move slowly from side to side, back and forth, almost like they're keeping time with my thoughts. Have always loved driving in Vietnam. When it rains, not because the roads become easier, actually. They become much harder. Traffic slows down. Motorbikes gather beneath bridges waiting for the rain to pass. Headlights reflect across the wet streets. Everything moves a little more carefully, a little more patiently, but maybe that's exactly why I love my train. Has a strange way of slowing life down. It gives you time to notice things you normally miss. Items. I think we spend so much time chasing tomorrow that we forget to appreciate today. Then a rainy evening like this arrives and suddenly nobody is in such a hurry anymore. Yes. I stop at a traffic light, look around. A father is helping his little daughter put on a raincoat. A young couple shares one umbrella while laughing at something only they understand. A delivery rider wipes the rain from his helmet before checking the next address. An elderly woman patiently waits for the light to change. No one is complaining. Gathering simply keeps moving. Maybe that's one thing I've always admired about Vietnamese people, who don't stop because life becomes inconvenient. We just adapt and we keep going. Rain has always reminded me of fat people often ask me, is Vietnam really like? Is it modern? Is it traditional? Is it fast growing? Is it peaceful? The truth is, it's all of those things at the same time. Look outside my windshield right now. You'll see modern office buildings, luxury apartments, electric cars, coffee shops filled with young professionals, and just a few meters away you'll find a tiny food store that's been there for decades. An old woman making noodles exactly the same way. She always has customers sitting on little plastic stools sharing stories. After another long day, that's Vietnam, a country that somehow keeps moving forward without forgetting where it came from. I think that's beautiful as the rain continues falling. The city begins to glow. Every streetlight reflects across the wet pavement. Neon signs look brighter, trees seem greener, even the air feels cleaner. Items. I wonder if visitors realize how beautiful Vietnam becomes after the rain. Most tourists are probably waiting inside their hotel watching the weather through a window, but they're missing one of my favorite moments. Because this is when the city feels most alive, louder, not busier, just more human. People help each other cross the street. Drivers become more patient. Coffee shops fill with conversations. Families stay a little longer over dinner while waiting for the rain to ease. Somehow the rain brings people closer together. Maybe that's why I never mind getting caught in it. I don't just see water falling from the sky, see life slowing down long enough for people to remember what really matters. I continue driving. The rain becomes lighter. Tiny drops dance across the windshield. The sky is already dark now. Office buildings begin turning off their lights one by one. Restaurants become busy. Children are finally home from school. Parents are making their way back. After another day's work tonight feels ordinary. Nothing extraordinary has happened. No celebration, no festival, no special event, just another rainy evening in Vietnam, and maybe that's exactly why I wanted to share it with you, because countries are not defined by their biggest moments. They're defined by ordinary evenings like this, when millions of people finish another honest day of work drive home to the people they love and quietly prepare to do it all again tomorrow. Summertimes, I think that's where the real beauty of Vietnam lives, not in the places everyone photographs, but in these simple moments that remind me why I'm so grateful to call this country home. Every drop of rain outside my window, every light reflecting on the road, very family heading home together, tells me the same story. Vietnam is still moving forward, not with noise and not with arrogance, but with quiet determination and somehow that gives me hope every single time I get behind the wheel. Asterisk, the rain is almost gone now. Only a few drops are left on the windshield. Clouds are slowly moving away, and the city lights are becoming brighter. I always find this moment beautiful because after every rain, Vietnam somehow feels brand new. There is cooler, the streets are cleaner, the reflections on the road make the whole city's spotlights almost impossible not to smile. Sometimes people ask me, do Vietnamese people seem so optimistic, especially when life isn't always easy? I've thought about that question many times, and I think I finally found my answer. It's because we've learned something very important. Train never lasts forever, maybe that's why people here don't give up easily. A difficult day, a difficult year, even a difficult season, none of those things define the future. Tomorrow is always another chance. I think that's how many Vietnamese people live, not waiting for perfect conditions, simply making the best of whatever today gives them. As I drive through another intersection, you notice a small coffee shop. Almost every seat is taken. Some people are laughing with friends, some are working on laptops, others are simply watching the rain outside the window. Nobody seems to be in a hurry anymore. Maybe happiness isn't always found in extraordinary place. Maybe it's hidden inside ordinary evenings like this. A warm cup of coffee, a conversation with someone you care about, a safe drive home. Cemetery chats more than enough. One thing I've always admired about Vietnamese, how quickly people adapt. Technology changes people and industries change people. Learn again. The world moves faster every year, and somehow Vietnam keeps finding a way to move with it without losing its identity. Still greet our neighbors or still enjoy meals with our families. Still celebrate the small moments in life. Progress didn't replace our values, it simply gave them a bigger staggers. The rain finally stops. More motorbikes begin filling the streets again. Restaurants become even busier. Children run outside laughing. Street vendors return to the sidewalks. Within minutes, the city feels alive again. It's almost as if the rain was only a short pause and either a stop, and maybe that's the perfect way To describe Vietnam, we've never stopped moving. We've simply paused long enough to become stronger Semitisms. I wonder what foreigners think. After spending a week Harambe, they remember the food maybe, they remember the landscapes maybe. They remember the cafe, but I hope they remember something even more important. People Beckows every smillivery simple act of necessary conversation with a stranger. Every family sharing dinner together tells the same story. Vietnam isn't only growing economically, it's growing with heart, and I think that's much harder to build. Money can build taller buildings, money can build wider roads, money can build bigger airports, but money alone cannot build trust, it cannot build kindness, it cannot build community. Those things are built one person at a tiny own family, at a tiny own generation at a time. That's why I never measure Vietnam only by numbers. I measure it by the feeling I have every evening when I drive home, feeling that millions of people are working honestly, dreaming quietly, building patiently, not because someone promised success, but because they believe tomorrow is worth the effort. As I get closer to home, streets become quieter. Rain has completely disappeared. The sky is dark now, but the city feels brighter than a very pull over for a momentum off the windshield wiper. Sand just listen for the sound of distant traffic, the laughter from a nearby restaurant, the gentle hum of the city settling into the night. It's peaceful, and in moments like this I realize something. The reason I'm proud to be Vietnamese has never been because my country is perfect. No country I seem proud. Because every year I see people choosing hope instead of fear, choosing hard work instead of excuses, choosing kindness instead of anger, choosing to build instead of complaint. That quiet determination is something no statistic could ever measure, maybe. That's why I never worry too much about Vietnam's future, because the future isn't waiting somewhere ahead, it's already being built tonight inside every home, with its lights still on inside every student still studying, inside every worker driving home after another long day, inside every dream that refuses to give up. As I park the car and look back at the road behind me, can't help but smile, because tomorrow morning millions of Vietnamese people will wake up and do what they've always done: work a little harder, dream a little bigger, help each other a little more, and quietly move this country one more step forward. If you ever visit Vietnam, I hope you don't only remember what you saw, I hope you remember what you felt, because long after the rain is gone, that feeling is what stays with you forever. Maybe that's why I never worry too much about Vietnam Beckows. Every time I think about the future, I don't imagine buildings, I don't imagine highways, I don't imagine numbers on a report, I imagine people, I imagine a little boy who is studying tonight because he dreams of becoming an engineer, a young woman staying late at the office because she believes in the company she's helping build, a father driving home after a long day, knowing his children are waiting for him, a grandmother preparing dinner, while 3 generations gather around the same table. Those are the moments that make a nation strong, not the headlines, not the rankings, not the statistics. It is The world asks what is Vietnam's greatest advantage? I think the answer is simple still. Believe in tomorrow even after difficult days, even after heavy rain, even when the road ahead isn't perfectly clear, we'll keep moving, no, but because someone tells us to, but because that's who we are. I believe every country has something unique, something that makes it unforgettable. For Vietnam, I think it's hope that quietly lives inside ordinary people who don't ask for recognition, people who simply wake up every morning and do their very best. That quiet hope has built every bridge, every school, every business, every neighborhood, and it will continue building the future long after all of us are gone. As I arrive home, I turn off the engine. If rain has completely stopped, the streets are calm. The city is still glowing outside my window. For a few seconds, everything becomes silent, and in that silence I realize something. Home is more than the place where I park my car. Home is every road I've driven, every conversation I've shared, every smile from a stranger, every rainy evening that reminded me how beautiful ordinary life can be. This is the Vietnam I know, not perfect, still growing, still learning, still chasing bigger dreams every single year, but always moving forward with kindness, with courage, with determination, and with a heart that never forgets where it came from. So, if you're watching this from somewhere far away, hope one day you'll come here not only to see Vietnam, but to feel it. Drive these roads, sit in a small coffee shop while the rain falls outside, to talk to the people, listen to their stories back hours. That's when you'll understand why so many visitors come for a few days but leave carrying Vietnam in their hearts forever. And as from a tomorrow morning you'll get back behind the wheel once again. I'll drive these same streets, you'll watch this country continue to grow, and just like tonight you'll quietly smile, because I know the best story about Vietnam isn't the one we've already written, it's the one we're writing together every single day.